Sheffield United's last 10 loans. Where are they now? Sheffield United have had several loan signings. I mean, most teams do, but in recent seasons, feels like we've had quite a lot, more than our fair share, before signing this season's 7 loanees, which again feels like a lot. See if you can rattle them off without looking it up. It's been a bit of a mixed bag. I mean, you've arguably got to use your loans well. And in this episode, let's look at the last 10 loanees before the 2024-25 season and see where those players are now. We're going to begin our quest with defender Mason Holgate, Mason Anthony Holgate, to give him his full name. He began his career with the Blades' South Yorkshire rivals, Barnsley, before moving on to his current parent club. They seemingly can't get rid of him, Everton. And since joining the Toffees, which was back in 2015, and he actually did make over 100 appearances, particularly successful under Carlo Ancelotti, Holgate has had four loan spells away from Everton. His first loan was in 2019 when he joined the Baggies of West Bromwich Albion. 2023-24 began with Holgate loaned out to then Championship side Southampton before joining the Blades in the winter transfer window. You might remember a much coveted Chris Wilder signing. Wilder was after him for a long time. We heard the rumours about signing Holgate and then we eventually got him. He made 10 appearances in a loan spell that had very little bearing on our relegation. It felt like that was inevitable. He also received a blatant red card against Brighton in the Charlie Good pantheon of blatant reds for loan players we probably could have done without, which is quite a long title. Since leaving Bramall Lane, Mason has returned to the Hawthorns on loan. The West Brom fans that I've spoken to like him. They rate him. The right-footed defender, who's now 28, has made 27 appearances for the Baggies this season, scoring once as they miss out on the playoffs. Additionally, Holgate has made his Jamaican debut, an international now since leaving the Blades. He's played 3 times in total for his country. He was previously an England youth international. Seemingly this season has been a better one for the former Blade. He also hasn't been sent off. James McAtee, one of the most popular loan signings in recent years. The only thing better than James McAtee, I think, was the video announcing his return of the Mac, where they're now bilingual. Ollie McBurney showed off his other talent with an impressive little teaser trailer as an actor. Over the 2 seasons with the Blades, James McAtee was a constant source of optimism, a player that I think a lot of fans took to, warmed to, and enjoyed watching, whether during the promotion season when he was definitely his best and learning his trade under Paul Heckingbottom's tutelage, very good with youth players as Paul, or when providing moments of individual excellence during a terrible season last season, a disastrous season, but we did have moments of magic, like his brilliant goal at the Lane against Brentford. He actually scored 3 for United in that season. Brentford, as I mentioned, Luton Town, and who remembers the other one? Go on, shout it at me. That's right, Crystal Palace. This season, among Manchester City's troubles, because it hasn't been a great season for the citizens, McAtee has found somewhat of a breakthrough for himself at the Etihad. He's managed 7 goals in 26 games in all competitions with Manchester City, with 3 goals in the Premier League, 3 in the FA Cup, and a memorable first Champions League goal. Now, with the number of games that he's played this season, those games under his belt, also with the England under-21s, I think it's likely that McAtee has England caps, full England caps in his future. Do you agree? Yasser Larouci, within months of leaving Sheffield United, the former Liverpool left-back was back at Bramall Lane, but with Watford. He didn't have a great game when he returned. Before settling down in Hertfordshire, Larouci had made 13 appearances for the Blades. Now, he appears to have found his level. I think he probably is a championship fullback. Watford seem to like him anyway. He's actually made 42 appearances for the Hornets. He's provided 4 assists for the mid-table side. Luke Thomas. Thomas joined the Blades on loan from Leicester City in the summer of 2024. He played 13 times for Sheffield United and he was sent back in January to the Foxes. It wasn't a successful loan. He was then loaned out to Middlesbrough. It went a little bit better. He played 12 matches, but apparently played well for Borough. The 23-year-old has managed 15 times to play for the Foxes this season, 11 of those being Premier League appearances, as he unfortunately succumbed to another injury. It's a failed relegation battle and injuries. Himself and Holgate, seemingly, they must meet up for weekly top trumps battles on who's the most unlucky. Tommy Doyle Tommy Doyle. I say his name and I smile. That FA Cup goal against Blackburn, woof. With the reminiscing out the way, Tommy Doyle has had a very interesting couple of seasons since leaving Sheffield United. He was then a Manchester City loanee when we had him at Bramall Lane, and he actually left Manchester City and headed for Molineux, as I'm sure you all know. After a promotion with the Blades, having played 38 games, adding 10 goal contributions to 𝗤𝗿𝗄𝐻𝗵𝗏𝗏's side, Doyle's first season with Wolves was actually really good. He just kind of kicked on from what we'd seen at beautiful downtown Bramall Lane. The step up to the Premier League, seemingly not too difficult for him. He came with 26 appearances in the league, 32 in total. But it hasn't been the same story this season. The 23-year-old has been in and out in total for Wolves. He has got a goal. He has got an assist, although recent comments about Tommy Doyle from Vítor Pereira suggest that Tommy doesn't fit his system, and we could see his time in the Midlands coming to a premature end. Would you want him to return to the Lane? Next up, Ciaran Clark. This is a bit of a weird one. Ciaran Clark, formerly of Aston Villa and Newcastle, joined Sheffield United on loan from Newcastle. In his time at Bramall Lane, he played 11 times for the Blades, but impressively did actually get 2 goals. The man knows where the back of the net is. Aiding the Blades' return to the Premier League, he's probably remembered slightly more fondly because we had such a good season. Not many headline-stealing moments, but, steady. He wasn't like Doyle or McAtee. They'll really be the important pieces that are remembered so fondly in that promotion puzzle. Clark moved to Stoke City after Sheffield United, where he played 3 times before leaving the Potters at the end of the season. Just 2 seasons on from his time with Sheffield United, Clark represents 𝗬𝗏𝗏 in the new Ballers League, where he's managed by the great 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏. Clark's team are currently 5th. There's 12 teams in the Ballers League, like you didn't know that. Clark is the top assister. He's got 3 assists for 𝗍𝗏𝗏's team. He's also scored twice. See? Knows where the back of the net is. Reader Cadra. Cadra began his career with Borussia Dortmund before switching to Premier League Brighton. The first loan move of his career saw him join Blackburn Rovers. He got 5 goals and 3 assists for Rovers. They really loved him there, as we heard on this channel when we brought him in. And the form made him a very attractive proposition for the Blades. I think we all thought he was going to be a really, really good signing. Unfortunately for Cadra, his time at Bramall Lane was underwhelming, I think, for both parties. He made 16 appearances, did score 1 goal, but what a goal when we beat Swansea in the 94th minute. Very well taken goal. I thought he'd kick on from there. He didn't. He spent the remainder of the season with Birmingham City, having a better time in the Midlands, getting 4 goals, 2 assists. He was very popular there. It wasn't a great season for Birmingham, but he did better than he did at Sheffield United. Maybe it was just the position he was playing in. In the summer of 2023, Cadra left Brighton for Ligue 1 side Reims, or R-E-I-M-S. If I pronounce that incorrectly, you can pronounce it your own way. His first season saw him play 31 times as a first-teamer. Unfortunately for Cadra, after just 4 games of this season, he got a really awful injury, one of the worst that footballers always fear. He suffered a ruptured ACL injury in his left knee, and he's missed the rest of the season. Conor Hourihane, the first on the list to become a manager. Conor was a decent loan signing in the midfield for Sheffield United. He actually made more appearances when I looked this up than I remember. 31 appearances for the Blades, scoring once, went on loan from Aston Villa. Do you remember who he scored against? That's right, QPR away. I was right behind that as well. And now he made 98 appearances for Derby County, helping the Rams to return to the Championship after 2 seasons. Pitching in 13 goals, not a bad return at all. He then sealed an emotional return to his former club, Barnsley, where he really is loved. After playing 2 games, he then joined the coaching staff, and Conor became Barnsley's interim manager in March before becoming the Reds' permanent manager just a month later. So far, his record is played 10, won 2, lost 5, drew 3, but does finish on a win at Reading. Robin Olsson, when Sheffield United signed the Swedish international goalkeeper from Italian giants Roma, the expectations understandably were very high, especially given the Blades were in the Championship. It felt like this is going to be an incredible addition, but unfortunately Olsson was, let's say, an underwhelming replacement for Aaron Ramsdale. Olsson managed just 1 clean sheet in 11 games. He was replaced by the promotion-winning League One 𝗬𝗏𝗏, who just was much steadier. Olsson spent the remainder of the 21-22 season with Aston Villa on loan, becoming a permanent villain in the summer. He's since played 21 times, getting 4 clean sheets during the greatest period, you could argue, in Villa's recent history. Just the 4 appearances this season, mind. Morgan Gibbs White. Did I save the best till last? Joined the Blades on loan from Wolves after a previous loan, another successful one, with the Welsh side Swansea City. Morgan's partnership with Iliman and 𝗍 was, I think, a leading reason behind the Blades reaching the playoffs after a slow start. Gibbs White managed 12 goals and 10 assists in a red and white shirt. And then, of course, what happened next was truly heartbreaking. In fairness to Gibbs White, when the significant fee came for Nottingham Forest, I think he probably had to do it, but it came from the Blades' semi-final playoff opponents. And that was tough. It was not only a statement of their faith in him, but too big a fee to turn down. He had to go to Forest, but he's since become an iconic player at the City Ground, even though it still hurts me that he went there of all teams. His 16 goals and 27 assists in 114 games have helped Nottingham Forest not only survive in the Premier League, but really kick on. Those stats, like I mentioned, are at time of recording, unlike all the stats that I've mentioned. So they can change. Morgan will likely be playing European football next season, even if he leaves Forest. We know that Manchester City are sniffing. So where do we stand with all this? Who were your standouts in the list that I've just gone through there? Do you believe I left the best till last? The fact that none of these players still play for Sheffield United suggests the old adage, never fall in love with a lone player, really does ring true and is worth heeding. Who is your favourite Blades lone player of all time? That could be a video we do in the near distant future. Let me know in the comments. And for more content just like this, head to sheffunitedway.co.uk. Andrew's articles, doing a great job, are worth a read. As ever, thank you very much for watching. Up the Blades. Olé, olé, olé. Olé, olé.